Nice. 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 Nice.
Hello, everybody.
Nice.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations, Mika, on
Nice.
first. Hi, Builder. Hi, Souffle. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I suddenly realized I don't know how to pronounce Meow Go-Go? Meow Go-Go. I'm gonna go with that. Welcome in. Hi, Squid Dev. Hello. Thank you for the pets, too. Hi, everybody. Today's been a mess. Today's been a mess. I got it? Heck yeah! Thank you for the first time chat, too. It's a cute fairy. No you. No you. Today's been a thing. I apologize for starting a little bit late. I lost my access to my water supply today. And I was waiting for it to come back on before I started streaming because I didn't want to start to stream without like reliable access to a drink. Thank you for the blowhigh. I appreciate it. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I could stay hydrated before I started streaming. So basically what happened was, well, first of all, I woke up in a decent amount of pain today. Hi Faye, and thank you. I woke up in a decent amount of pain today. I was feeling mostly okay enough to like... Thank you, I will hydrate.
Hi.
Hi Tat! Welcome in. I was feeling well enough to stream, but I've been in a little bit of pain all day. And I started just kind of hanging out and chilling. And I went to make myself some tea. And start cooking some food, so I was gonna make some rice. And I turned my kitchen tap on, and I had no water. And I found out that the water company was doing some major maintenance on the pipes, and had not told anyone. Which is, by the way, completely illegal. So I ended up on the phone to the water company. Hi Petra. I ended up on the phone to the water company, having to be like, hey, you know this is illegal, right? You're not, this is not legal? And they were like, yeah, it sure isn't. And then I got a message after that there was a problem with my medication, so I've got to sort that out at some point. I haven't been able to sort that out in time. There's just been a lot of stuff going wrong today. It's a mess. So it feels a bit like my life is on fire right now. So I'm a little bit late starting stream because I wanted to make sure I had my water back before I did. It's your remote use. Yeah, a little bit. I wanted to make sure I had my water back before I started streaming because I didn't want to start streaming and then like an hour in, go get myself a drink and still not have any water. Yeah. It's been a mess. And I now have a bit of a headache because I couldn't, like, I had to spend the last, like, couple of hours and even after waking up not being able to hydrate properly. So I am slightly dehydrated as well. I have drinks next to me now, so that is good, but I am a little bit dehydrated. Hi, Taki. And I did manage to get myself some food. I managed to use some bottled water to make rice, but it's been a pain in the butt. Official request to shorten the countdown of hydrate for today. I can try. My computer's been acting up a little bit, so I don't know how. I have to go into the browser to do that, and let's see if I can get this to work. Let's see. Let's see if I can shorten it to like 15 minutes. Yeah, you can always do unofficial hydrate requests. Ugh. Create a dashboard. Okay. Your rewards. Channel points. Honestly, I probably should just reduce the cooldown of hydrate from 30 minutes to like 10 minutes. There we go. Shorten to 10 minutes. That should be active now. Maybe I'll do the same for the posture check. Yeah, I'll make that 10 minutes as well. Excellent. Excellent. You turned me into a self for the day? Fair enough. Okay.
Shrinking on the job, are we?
I just unplugged my headphones. That's fun. But yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I will unshrimp. There we go. They're magic invisible headphones. That's why you can't see them. That's true. That's a true fact. That's kind of thrown my day out of alignment. Thought they were just shaped like pointy fake ears. No, they're just invisible. Mostly lurking or making maps to torture you within D&D. Oh, okay, I see. I see how it is. Yeah, I think you're thinking of you're thinking of onions, which are the water sprites, self-wind sprites. So there was a thing I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, speaking of D&D, I want to talk about D&D again because I love D&D. I think probably next week, next Tuesday. There's a lot of different names for various things, Faye. It's fine. There's a lot of different names for stuff. But, there's a, hopefully starting next week. Might not be next week, but it might be next week. I think it is next week. I should be starting a new D&D game on Tuesdays. I've been doing the one shot. We were doing the one shot on Massive Effects channel, and we're starting like a proper campaign. Hope it's fun. It will be. So it'll be over on Massive Effects channel. And it should be a lot of fun. I am going to be playing a little goblin. Minor envy. A good D&D group is hard to come by. Prolo and Conlo shows up. I'm gonna get them. Conlo is my evil twin. Did you know that? I know. I'll one. Depends on which mythology you're using and what fantasy setting. Yeah, exactly. It varies. He's a DM colleague? Yeah, I'm a player in this one. I have GM before, and I want to get back into it. I've been kind of vaguely planning a one shot, but I need to like get some of my finances in gear to buy some tools for that. GMing's a lot of fun. I haven't done it in a while though, and I want to go back into it. Semi-pro DM? Oh, hells yeah. I like playing characters in games a lot. I like playing games, but I do want to get back into DMing. Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes I made when I was DMing before, and I could do it a lot better now, but I appreciate that you had fun regardless. We all make mistakes and we all learn. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, the new game I am going to be playing a little goblin sorcerer. Professional monster? Hells yeah, love that. Mistakes aren't always readily apparent as a player. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a Goblin Sorcerer. I realize I've not actually played a Sorcerer in D&D before. I played one in Baldur's Gate 3, but I haven't played one in, like, regular D&D. Should be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to playing. I've been going through, like, a lot of backstory stuff with the DM, and it should be a lot of fun. So Oxen 5e are odd beasts. This is a 5.5 game. And I look at the Sorc level curve, and it's very strange. Like, after level 7, you basically get no additional abilities until, like, level 15. It's very weird. Like, you get more spells, but that's about it for, like, 7 levels. It's wild. Got a job as a scare actor for Halloween season at your local theme park. Oh, hells yeah. Heck yeah. It's because of how wacky the power scaling can be when you get access to high level spells. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're entirely unfamiliar with the ins and outs of 5.5? I mean, they're mostly the same as 5e. Because it's the new name for, like, 5e 2024, right? 5e was 2014. So heavily divested from D&D. That's fair. It's got some neat changes. Like, True Strike's not terrible anymore. True Strike actually makes sense as a skill. Works completely differently. I've actually taken True Strike as a sorcerer. Yeah, because, like, so for those who don't know, in 2014 D&D, True Strike was a cantrip that allowed the next weapon attack you make on your next turn to have advantage. Which means, you know, rolling 2d20s and picking the highest. You see the problem with that? You could just attack twice. You could just do it twice. And you get the same odds, except now there's better odds of doing even more damage. Like, you could just attack twice! The one use case it really has is if you have a limited use, powerful attack that you want to get, like, a good swing at. That's the only real option. But the way it works in 5.5... I think I have a fairly big plus to hit. The way it works in 5.5 is that you cast it and immediately make a weapon attack. But you make the weapon attack using the spellcasting modifier instead of strength or dexterity. That's it. That's what it does. I think you can also make it do radiant damage, but it just means you can attack with your spellcasting mod, right? It's so much better. They also added this whole system of weapon masteries, which is a really cool system and allowed me to do some really silly things. It's how I built my bard tank when I played it in a little one shot before. I gave her the way weapon masteries work. Yeah, I agree, Faye. I completely agree. So the way weapon masteries work is every weapon type has a specific mastery skill. And the mastery skills allow you to do, like, additional things with that weapon based on what the skill is, and if you have mastery with that weapon. So, for example, my bard tank used sabers, which has the weapon mastery Nick. And what Nick allows you to do is when you make an offhand weapon attack, you can make it as part of the attack action without using a bonus action, because normally it's a bonus action to do an offhand weapon attack. But Nick Mastery allows you to do the offhand weapon attack as part of your attack action. And there's stuff like you can yeah, exactly, Nick. Crime. There's there's things like sap, I think, which like makes them roll at disadvantage or something. There's ways to make people prone, which I think is topple. There's stuff like that. There's different masteries based on weapons, but you have to get masteries for specific weapons, not just specific masteries. So it's something you have to kind of build up to. But I built my bard tank with 2 weapon fighting and Nick mastery. And with Bard's extra attack, she was making 3 attacks a turn at full power, because she was making 1 attack, then the extra attack, then the offhand attack using Nick Mastery, all with a single attack action. So you could make it allows for some really interesting builds. And it's a cool system, I think. Like, you have to build towards it, but if you know what you're doing, you could do some cool things. The idea of weapons basically having more dynamic abilities built in is a good idea. I agree! Hi Lyra, welcome in. You could always do it as a DM, but it's a lot of thing people never think to do. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's something that's a very cool addition, I think. Have you heard of Pokemon Rusty? I have not. I don't think so. Maybe I have. Is that the one where they added a new rock by the water? It's a nice thing to have access to. Yeah, exactly. You've not heard of Pokemon Rusty, I don't think. And yeah, the bonus action economy is an interesting one. It's a series by Dorkly. I don't really engage with Dorkly very much. I see them around occasionally, but I don't really engage with them intentionally. Like, not for any particular reason, I just don't seek it out. Got to dinking. One of the most common complaints of non-spellcasters is that the turns are reduced to I move, I hit, I end turn. Yeah, exactly. It's thank you, I will dinking. He has a big crush on boulders? Understandable. Yeah, like I tried to play D&D a lot when I was younger. Not like super young. I got into D&D around university, so I was in my early 20s. Because I joined my university's LARP group, and a bunch of them were also into D&D and invited me to a few games. I could only ever actually play one of them, which was the very first TTRPG I played, which was a Lamentations of the Flame Princess game. It was not actually D&D. They all played like a variety of different games. They played like Fate and stuff like that. There were occasional D&D games, but they used to play a lot of different systems. And I played my very first TTRPG was a game of Lamentations of the Flame Princess. And my first character was a terrible tactician named Winter. She sucked. She was awful. But the bit with her was that she thought she was super smart and would come up with these really complicated, convoluted strategies that were just terrible. But she was always convinced that she was amazing. The funniest thing with her was that she did come up with like a bunch of stupidly complicated, like over-convoluted plans. And they always worked. They always worked! She was very fun. She was a fun character. But that game kind of died after a couple of sessions. I don't think that's true, Petra. It's not that complicated. This song? Yeah! How are you, guy? Yeah! I used to know parts of the dance for this song. I don't anymore, but I used to. But yeah, I tried playing D&D a few times after that, like getting into D&D. I've never played anything other than 5th edition and 5.5. I've not played any of the earlier editions. There's not that many numbers to keep track of, honestly. Probably in the Fey Wriggler. Why would you do that? Why is my... There we go. Why would you do that? Why would you put me in the wiggler? You the dance at one point, there may be evidence of pre-transition you doing it. Let's go! Let's go! I was wiggling? Oh, I see. I do wiggle. I have some wiggles. I like to wiggle. But yeah, I tried playing D&D a few times, but because I was not really particularly familiar with it, I kept thinking to myself, I'm gonna play a fighter, because the magic system seems fairly complicated, and I'm not really very solid on the rules, so I think I'll start with something simple. So we'll start with fighter. But every game I had started at level 1, and a level 1 fighter is so boring. First CTRPG you played was Jamming Game of 3.5. Ooh. But like those games never lasted very long. They never lasted more than 2 sessions. What were the characters I played? There was like an elf fighter called Aaron. There was I had a halfling fighter called Larg. She had a cool premise. The premise for her was that she was taught by a retired human soldier. And when she went off to be an adventurer, she inherited all of his armor and equipment. So all of her armor was too big for her because she was a halfling. You get to enjoy the dull part of being a fighter and never gets to progress to the point where it becomes a bit more engaging. Yup. First game is halfway through a 3.5 game in a very heavy, story-heavy session. Okay. That's a lot. I also played some Cortex at one point.
Tell me for whom you
Thank you
fight.
for the follow, Lemon Mead Lemonade. You're an accomplice to my crimes now. Congratulations. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, I played a couple of characters in a Cortex game. One of which was... I don't remember her name, but she was like a mechanic and she was cool. I kind of adapted her into some later characters a little bit. There was a really funny plot point, a moment in that game actually that I really enjoyed. Character has been resurrected from a 6-foot dragonborn to a half-orc, half-halfling. Halved your height and had to buy all new clothes. That's very cute. It's a one-shot with a simplified game for a friend's birthday. That's fun. I like that. There was a fun moment in that Cortex game, though, because the rest of the party had a time machine. And they had traveled like thousands of years into the future. And that's where they met my character. And I do not remember her name. And they met her in the future. And she was just kind of tagging along for the whole adventure there. But then it kind of came time to start thinking about like going back to the past. And the party was like, okay, well, we'll ask this lady to come with us. Obviously for out of character reasons, because like I was one of the party members, right? And the way they asked her, it was really funny, because she's like a nerd mechanic, right? And they're like, so, we're gonna go back to the past, do you want to come with us? And she was like, okay, hold on a second. You want me to abandon my life, everyone I've ever cared about or known, everything I know, and travel with you in your time machine thousands of years into the past? And they started being like, huh, you know, I didn't think about it like that. And then my character interrupted that statement to go like, I'm in. It was a very funny little moment. Because she's a nerd, of course she wants to go thousands of years into the past in a time machine. I love moments like that. Like, the time I love, this is one of the reasons I like playing nerds and mechanic characters. I love a good artificer or mechanic character. My longest running character has been a mechanic. And there was a moment where she was doing an experiment, and where she was trying to effectively make effectively bring a robot to life. and she invited everyone over into her little house. It's very little. She's fairy, so she's very small. And she had like everything rigged up to like a big like plunger switch. And she was like, okay, everybody, here it is. This is either going to work or explode. And I give it a 50-50, and then she just pulls the plunger before anyone can react. It worked, by the way. It didn't explode. But it was a funny moment. Currently, one of the characters in the game I run started out as a necromancer who's originally just a fisher who found a weird book in some ruins. I know the one. They learned magic, and it was a thing. Turns out much later they were half dead and half possessed by the soul of an ancient necromancer who was keeping them alive because they died by patching their soul with hers and needed them to help save the world. Yeah, that is what happened, huh? I love complicated stuff like that. I love a good backstory that like really ties them into the world. I love nerd characters. Not playing one at the moment, but every time I get to play one, it's always fun. Yeah, exactly. I love a character that can just nerd out about something. And I like getting very in-depth with it as well. Like, I play an artificer who does a lot of, like, building and rope. I just realized all of my chat has stopped working again. Let me restart Slime 2. I need to, like... I'm gonna need to, like, message the developer and be like, hey, what's going on with this? Let me just check that's working. Okay, good. Chance back. Oh, I am using the app version, Faye, and it's still not behaving. Current character is a former Fae princess. Is way too full of herself and also in a relationship with her sword. That's incredible. My character is also a Fae princess, funnily enough. But she ran away from home to build robots. And her sister is also a warlock, but her patron is her mother. And she is in a relationship with her goth girlfriend. I don't want to go too much into like the backstory for my newest character. Meriwether's goth now. She's a little bit goth. She's always been a little bit goth. She's not like super goth, but she's always been a little bit goth. And yeah, her name is Meriwether. I don't want to go too much into the backstory of of my newest character because they are very cool. And you'll get to see it yourself. But I think she's got a really cool backstory because some of the like sorceress origin stuff doesn't really work in the custom setting, so I had to kind of come up with a whole new reason for why she's a sorcerer, and I came up with a cool one. I wasn't sure if the DM would allow it in the setting because I wasn't sure if it would work, but they thought it was really. But yeah, Massive Effect thought it was really cool, so that's what we're going with. I'm looking forward to that game a lot. It should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. I love TTRPGs, y'all. I still want to play Sword World sometime. I really want to. Sword World looks very fun. And I want to be able to play Neon Soul again. We had to put it on hiatus because Scott's schedule changed and we couldn't get everyone together. And we decided rather than just kick someone out, we'd put the game on hiatus so we can play again. So embarrassed herself at least once per session. Your favourite time she did was the session where one time, while disguised, she asked the god, "Do you know who I am?" To which the god responded, "No." Later on, while fighting the god, later on out, present she draws to disguise and asks again, to which the answer is yet again no. That's amazing. You've forgotten how to make simple redstone repeaters? Is it like 3 smooth stone blocks, a torch on each end, and then a dust in the middle? I think that's the recipe for redstone repeaters.
Let's put on a lovely show for the audience.
Hello, welcome in! Hi! How was your stream? What were you up to? You're playing FF14, let's go! Hi, hello everybody! If you don't know me, I am Prolo. I am a Moon Fairy VTuber. I have not committed any crimes recently. And welcome in! We're just kind of yapping before we get started. You're at Occult Crescent. I need to go back into Occult Crescent. I still haven't done, like, the Fork Tower at all. I kind of gave up when I realized I had to get to level 20 to do it. And I was, like, level 10, having done all the story. Haven't committed any crimes that anyone witnessed? Yeah, no one has seen me doing any crimes lately. No one's seen it. Hi, Shocky! But yes, if you gotta do some post-stream self-care, please look after yourself. Self-care is not optional. But you are more than welcome to hang out, as always. I hope you had fun in Occult Crescent. But it isn't illegal in the Feywild, it's not a crime for her. That's true, that's how diplomatic immunity works. Your disability says spine explode. Don't let your spine explode. You need that. Go do some self-care. Thank you for sending people over. I appreciate you immensely. We were talking D&D and TTRPGs and stuff. But yeah, I was in FF14. I was playing some FF14 yesterday. I hadn't done the summer event, so I was doing that. And I climbed to the top of the jumping puzzle. Because I like the jumping puzzles. They can be frustrating, but they can be a lot of fun. Yeah, I played a few characters in the, You forgot about the summer event? It's still going on. You got a bit of time. Yeah, I played a few characters in this long form game we've been playing for a bit. There's my Artificer, there's the Warlock, who is her sister, and we've also got the, my Ranger, who is completely unrelated. And she sucks, but I love her. She's quite fun to do the voice for, because it's like she's got kind of a soft voice. But she also can't pronounce S's. She always pronounces... Oh, is it... No. She can't pronounce Z, so she always pronounces it with an S. With like an elongated S sound, and she's very she's got a kind of like a really soft voice, and I like her a lot. But she also has a plus 13 and advantage on initiative rolls, so she always goes first, no hesitation. I like her. I like my characters. I have like a strategy for coming up with characters generally. And I don't necessarily do it like intentionally, but I think there is like a few steps to it. What good would hesitation be for an assassin? Exactly. Exactly. There's a strategy I kind of use, which is where you basically like you come up with like a premise, which is like. Which can just be something simple like race and class combo, right? And then you want to like then I tend to come up with like one major thing in the backstory, which is like, why are they here at this point in the story? What is kind of their immediate motivation? And then one further thing, which is like, what is the twist to this character? What makes this character interesting? For example, my Warlock in that campaign. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a fairy warlock. And her immediate backstory is she is related to my other character, so she immediately has a tie in there. Because she's looking out for her sister. And then the twist, her patron is her biological mother. Where the twist is basically something that makes them unique. And then you can kind of just build from there. Where, like, for my ranger, for example, she's an elf ranger, assassin. She's an assassin. Like, the basic premise is she is an assassin. She is working for the kind of evil empire in our game. which is already pretty cool. The twist is, she is older than the Empire, and so her motivation for working for it isn't necessarily that she believes the Empire's propaganda. She's looking out for self-preservation, and that gives her a potential hook to get out of the evil Empire and start working against it. A lot of it is simply just like, you build like I built like a very simple premise. I don't usually do like more than a couple of lines of backstory. Sometimes I can build stuff on after the game starts, and I can be like, okay, this is a character that I think would be important. Like this happened with my Warlock, right? I set her up as a guard captain. She's basically the captain of the knights. She's a captain of the knights. And after a couple of level ups, she got the spell Summon Fae, and I thought it would be fun if, being a Fae herself, when she casts Summon Fae, instead of just summoning random spirits, she summons in people from her unit. She summons in like people she knows specifically, and so I came up with 3 characters for each of the things. One of which ended up being her girlfriend. Summon Demoness Fae. Oh, I wish. But yeah, it's stuff like that. You could do some really interesting stuff with character stuff. I like to build characters and then kind of work out how to make them work. Imagine she summons an annoying coworker. She basically did, at least once. The 3 she could summon was her childhood friend, who she had a crush on. And, hi Elfie, welcome in. It's so much fun with that back in Pathfinder 1E. I've not played Pathfinder and I really want to. But yeah, like, she had a childhood friend who she had a crush on, which was not originally the plan, but once I summoned her for the first time, the party were commenting on how much chemistry they had, so I thought that'd be fun actually, let's do that. And then there's 2 brothers who are the other 2 she could summon. One of whom just kinda sucks. I think she summoned the older brother twice and the other one once. The younger brother once. But it was fun. And she ended up having like this whole Ice Witch theme, which wasn't originally the plan, but I kept finding cool ice abilities, and I was like, this could be really fun actually. My DM allowed you to do currently is multi-class your character, but to treat wizard levels and tokens belong to your sprite familiar. Oh, that's cool! Yeah, I think a good DM will let you like re-flavor stuff if it doesn't change the game balance. And often I will actually take nerfs to my character for better flavoring. For example, my Warlock again had a spell which was a reflavored Spirit Shroud. The spell Spirit Shroud usually lets you like summon like souls of the dead or something to like float around you and stuff nearby, and it slows stuff around nearby and makes you do extra cold or necrotic damage to enemies, to things that take damage near that. You have Mage Hand twice in your spell list. That's really fun, actually. I love that. I'd like to give my character's family so the DM can mess with me. Mm-hmm. You threw an enemy's sword out the window with it. Mage Hand's fun. But yeah, I reflavored the spell Spirit Shroud to be a different spell called Rime Veil. It is a strictly worse version of Spirit Shroud, solely because it works exactly the same, but does not allow you to select necrotic damage. You could only do cold damage with it. But the flavor of it is that instead of summoning the spirits of the dead, it just drops the air temperature around you. And I had this kind of visual, I had this description that when she casts it, she just kind of takes a deep breath and then slowly breathes out, and like ice forms from her breath, which drops the air temperature around her. And it's such a cool image. She had like all of these cool like ice-themed powers, which were mostly just reflavored other spells. Like she had a reflavored Cloud of Daggers, which instead of summoning daggers, it was just sharp icicles. It was otherwise exactly the same. And so she had this whole like Ice Witch thing. But yeah, I love like, hand your DM knives. Hand your DM knives to stab you in the back with. And like, over time, the reality is, a lot of the time, especially when I'm I'm very, very invested in a character, I want them to succeed. But having no obstacles to that is... yeah. You want to make your character tied into the narrative and the story, and if the DM doesn't have any ammunition for you for that, you just kind of end up on the side floating around. You need to give the DM something to allow them to hook you into the story. And sometimes you can build that yourself, and sometimes you can let the DM handle it. Like, my Artifice didn't start out with a lot. Her initial backstory was just that she ran away from home in the Feywilds and started a robotics shop. And after a bad week, she just needed a change of pace. She was getting drunk in the bar after a bad week and needed a change of pace. And that's all that happened. But there was a moment during that campaign where we were tasked with clearing out some ghosts in a house. And it turned out that there weren't any ghosts, actually. The previous owner of the house had been a kind of artificer himself, and had been setting up magical projectors throughout the house to project images of his deceased family throughout the building, as like a reminder. And they had started malfunctioning and going a little haywire, so we had to fight some stuff. But that got... I looked at that and I was like, my character ran away from home. I can do something interesting with this. And so I had her get very thoughtful after we did that. And then basically go up to the rest of the party and say, hey, can we take a trip to the Magic City? Because I want to send a letter home. And so we did a whole little mini arc where we went to the City of Magic. So that my character could send a letter. And that was a completely, that was not part of the DM's set out story. But they tied it in really, really well into an interesting... yeah, it had nothing else going on at all. It's not like there was horrors, be it from external dimensions or whatever going on there. No, not at all. But yeah, the DM tied it into a story. Squidzup was the DM, by the way. They tied it into the story really nicely, and it flowed really well. But it really started to feel like... it really felt like we were part of the world and actually having a meaningful interaction, because it was not something that had been handed to us, right? And because of that, because I kind of was willing to take that set and give the DM that extra hook, that then has come back around and paid dividends over and over and over. DM 2 games at the moment. Best NPC ever came up with a singing camel that sings camel-based song parodies. I adore that. Question, but what's your favorite region in Pokemon? That kind of depends a little bit, I think. We have got 2 different boons from a Feylord, that is true. Favorite Pokemon region? So that depends a little bit. If you just mean the world design and the structure of the way the world works, it's probably Johto. Part of that is nostalgia, for sure, but I also really like the way Johto is structured. It's got a lot of... there's a particular design element that shows up in stuff like Dark Souls a lot. Which I really like, which is the idea of shortcut cycles. Which is where the entire world is built in loops. And you're forced to travel the loop one way for the first time. But as you reach the end of the loop, you end up finding a route back to where you were before, and often opening a shortcut back through the end of the loop. And it's a really smart way of designing a world, and Johto is very much built like that. It's got a lot of little loops that you go around, and you open up shortcuts to allow you to get between them very quickly. Loop! Yes, loop. It's really nice. Part of it is of course nostalgia, but a lot of it is that kind of loop-based design. It's also why I don't particularly like the region design of Gen 5, because it's extremely linear and there's not actually any of this loop. It's one huge loop that loops you back around to the start, but you have to go through the entire game to see it. And everything else just kind of branches off that a little bit. And I think it's a shame. Gen 6's region design isn't bad. Not a big fan of Gen 7's, because it's all these very, like, sequestered areas with the islands. Gen 8's is okay. I don't really like Gen 9's. I think it's... I'm not a big fan of the open world design in that. Gen 1 is fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Gen 3, I don't know well enough. Gen 4 is alright. But if we're talking including things like the level curve, then Gen 2 I have to dock points for, because its level curve is nonsense. And it gets... Gen 2 also gets very weird when it goes back into Kanto. It has some very strange decisions. Especially with things like wild Pokemon encounters. There's a lot of people who think Slugma is a Gen 3 Pokemon. Sally Charms! Hi, Sally. They changed Lavender Town too much. They did. If you are not following Sally Charms VT, you absolutely should be. You are missing out. Absolutely delightful person here. Another banger? Yeah! You can't stop me, Sally. This is my space. Fairy's way better. You're a fairy sometimes. We were just talking about favorite Pokemon regions. You get one free channel deletion to use anyway. That's true. That's a known perk. A known perk of Twitch partner. Do you pass go and collect $200? I don't know actually. Also, hi Marshall. But yeah, I think Gen 2 probably has my favorite region design, but with some caveats to the nonsense Pokemon placement and the nonsense level curve. A lot of people think Slugma is a Gen 3 Pokemon because it only shows up in one grass patch in the post-game for some reason. But it is Gen 2. You've been in Lexus and stuff, but busy, that's totally fair. Which region has my favorite Pokemon design? Ooh, that's a tough one. Slugma nuts! That's a really tough one, actually. Thought Misdreavus was Gen 4 and Skamori was Gen 3. I mean, understandable. Skamori's rare and only in Silver, I think? And Misdreavus is, again, I think only post-game. Hi, Riley. Welcome in. So I'm not surprised. And Misdreavus got an evolution in Gen 4, so that tracks. But which region has my favorite Pokemon designs? Really tough. I like a lot of the Gen 3 designs. And I like a lot of the Gen 6 designs. Oh, but Gen 7 has all the Alolan forms. Gen 3 was released during your I'm too cool for Pokemon phase. Gen 3 was released during my I don't own a Game Boy Advance phase. I gotta tell my story. I gotta tell the story. The story of my cursed copy of Pokemon Emerald, which I picked up several years later. I need to dig it out somewhere so I can prove this. I know I've got it somewhere. Gen 5 has Garbodor. Worst thing ever invented was Maractus. Fair. Gen 6 has some really good ones. Gen 6 has got like Sylveon, you got Aurorus, you got Braixen, you got some really good designs in Gen 6. Aegislash, yeah, really good designs in Gen 6 actually. But yeah, I gotta tell the story of my cursed Gen 3 game. So I picked up a copy of Pokemon Emerald several years late, like after Gen 4 dropped. I picked up Pokemon Emerald and went back to play it. And I got through most of the game. I think I either had a Mudkip or a Blaziken. I think it was a Blaziken I had. Because I think this was pre the whole Mudkip meme. So I think I had a Blaziken. And I went through the whole game. I was like cruising along, classic Pokemon, having a good time. And I get to the kind of like climax of the story. Where you've got Kyogre and Groudon fighting each other. Sorry, Groudon and Kyogre fighting each other. And the story is like you have to go into the Cave of Origin and find Wallace. So that we can discuss Rayquaza and then go and pick up Rayquaza, right? That's where the story is. And I go into the Cave of Origin, and I go through the first floor, and I go down the stairs to the second floor in the Cave of Origin. I don't end up in the second floor of the Cave of Origin. I end up in the Lava Ridge Pokemon Center. All the lights are out. No NPCs. Doors are locked. And the only way out is an escape rope or dig. Nolan Davis! Hi, Nolan. How you doing? Yeah. We pop you one of these. I'll follow Nolan. Nolan is wonderful. Yo, fairy nets! No! No! Nolan Phaelus when? The real questions. That's not true! It's not a truth! It's not true! It's not real. But yeah, I think what happened with my Pokemon Emerald game, I looked into it a little bit. And I looked into like the, only have that jar? Sally, what's in that jar? What's in the jar? What's in the jar? I'm a little bit concerned about what's in the jar. You're not sure? I choose to believe it is butter. I choose to believe it's a jar full of butter. Yellow paint. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, I looked into a little bit. I looked a little bit into the, but you're choosing a jar full of butter? Butter's delicious, okay? I could eat that. Huh? Hey, Addison, thank you for the first time chat. Welcome in. But yeah, I looked into a little bit into my Emerald game, and I looked into like the map lists, and I'm pretty sure what happened is that there was a bit flip somewhere, and it just loaded the wrong map with the cave palette. Net swishing above my head. Stop moving? No. You're not gonna catch me! You're not gonna catch me! I'm too fast! You'll never catch me, Nolan. I'm too fast. I zoom too much. 3 fast, 5 you. It's true. Why did that not work? Hold on, why did that not work? Why did that not work? Hold on. Is it working now? Why is my jaw not working? I was too fast. Hold on, why is my jaw not working? Hold on. Hold on. What the heck? Did you see a butt armor art? I did not. Why am I, like, off screen here? What is happening? Is Mix It Up broken? Hold on. You're DMing to me? Heck yeah. What? Hold on. I think Mix It Up might be broken. Oh, yeah, Mix It Up is totally broken. I'm gonna close Mix It Up and like restart it because I think it just didn't load a bunch of stuff. Oh, that is fabulous. I cannot show this on stream, but that is fabulous, Nowlin. That is excellent. Give me a moment. Let me unjar myself real quick. Skip the Mix It Up update. I think it just kind of didn't load properly. Yeah, I'd like to log in, please, Mix It Up. Please let me log in. Okay, hopefully the jar redeem should work now. Let me try it. I can do it for free. Oh, right, it's on cooldown. I will just do it as a button then. Hold on. Jar.
Ba 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 ba.
There we go! It's working now. Okay, cool. Apologies for that, that was weird. Now, your art is always cooks really hard. I've been caught. It's a sad fate. Sad fate. Don't tap the jar! What the heck? Why would you do this? You're not supposed to tap the jar. It's not enrichment. Gentle. It's like with a fishbowl. You're not supposed to tap it. It makes me agitated. It scares me. Gentle touch. It's true, I'm in the jar. Catch the jar with the net? No! Put the jar down next to figures and Lego. Let's go! Toys! Yay, toys! Yay, toys! I love toys. This reminded me, I haven't played Tomodachi Life in a hot minute. That game was very toys. I like that game. It was good. Well, we've got an ad coming up fairly shortly. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll take a short ad break. And then we'll get started on some art stuffs. Or because I have something I want to draw today. For a reason. What art stuff? So it's not a net. It's not a net. I've been a little bit sneaky about this. But I want to draw some art for my partner's birthday. So I'm gonna do that. I've been a little bit sneaky. You're gathering reference things for reasons? Heck yeah. I haven't told her this, but I'm gonna do it. Cause her birthday's coming up and I wanna do some arts. But we gotta take an ad break first. There it is, this little notice. So we're gonna do a little ad break. I'm gonna make sure I have more to drink. Maybe stretch a little bit. And when we get back, we're gonna do some drawing. I will see you all in a few minutes. Oh no. Are we good? Are we good? My computer hated that. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Okay. I think we're alright. I think we're alright. Closing some stuff. Welcome back, everybody. I got some reference images I need to pull up. Probably gonna keep them on my other screen. Oof. Let's see, where's that reference image I was looking for? There it is. Okay. Hey, Lyra. Okay. We gotta do some art. Not what I wanted to do. So I want to do quite a large, like, half body here. I never really know how to do, like heads and faces. That's like a basic structure. Yeah. Usually keep it pretty basic for like the very first draft. Torso is made out of 2 Dorito. It's true. Torso is a double Dorito situation. Okay, so I think I want this to be like super stylized. See, I usually do the I usually do the torso as like 2 Doritos stacked on top of each other. So the plan for this is like a super stylized little... Okay, I'm liking how this is coming out. I need a reference for hair. Okay. So hair is like... this kind of style. Yeah, exactly! That's the idea! That's exactly the idea. See, this is not me, is the thing. I'm not drawing me right now. Hello, when woman. It is true, I do that, but this I'm not drawing me right now. This is, of course, very, very, very rough sketching. I will clean this up a lot later. You're on a stream where the idea of making a Force Fem tier list for villains was discussed? Hells yeah. We love Force Fem. Hashtag love Force Fem. What villain? So, like, hold on. So we're talking about villains that would Force Fem someone? Oh, that I would Force Fem. S tier Force Fem? I feel like, I feel like a classic answer is gonna be, like, James Team Rocket, right? Favorite quote episode is, it's not Force Fem, it takes no force to fem you. True! That's consent fem. Okay, this is roughly the right thing. It's just transitioning. Yeah, exactly. It's consent fem. I think we can do some clean lines now. What would be a good villain to be force femmed? Let me think. I'm still thinking. I'm like blanking on just about like any villains in anything ever. I mean, I'd force fem Ganondorf. I was just saying, I'd force fem Ganondorf. Bowser. Bowser's a classic S tier force fem. Force fem Ganondorf, there's no more male Gerudo? Yeah, exactly. Bowser force fem but remains turtle shaped? You understand me. You get it. You get it. Like, I love Bowser, don't get me wrong, but you get it. You understand. You see the vision.
Shrimping on the job, are we?
Hey, well, unshrimp, thank you. There we go. Okay, we're gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm definitely getting a lot faster at drawing than I used to be. I'm starting to kind of just like learn my method, and it makes it a little bit easier. Force Femme Wario! No, you're right! Wario Force Femme would be fantastic. Force Femme Kamek, but nothing changes? You're all cooking with this, honestly. You like Rule 63 Link? Me too. My hot take is that every Link is trans. But the type of trans that the Link is depends on the game. That needs to be a lot lower down. Kamek has canonically worn Peach's dress and liked it, same with Luigi. I mean, who wouldn't wear Peach's dress and like it, honestly? Peach's dress is kind of peak. Computer stuttered there a little bit. That's better. Every Link and every Zelda is trans, and King of Hyrule likes dinner. It's true. Accurate. True and real. Peach's dress seems hard to move around in. It has sports outfits. Yeah. Yeah, no, you are right. I mean, I'm not opposed to a dress that's hard to move around in. But then I own several, like, Lolita outfits, so,
When you play with fire.
Thank you for the subscription. What the heck? You like it here? The stream matches at least 2 of your vibes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. That genuinely helps me a great deal. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me draw this back. Is it hard to move in dress a form of bondage? That depends. That depends why you're wearing it. Yeah, that's better. I should watch Cowboy Bebop again. It's been a hot minute. Great fairies, if you come to that fountain, prove your honesty and tell them you're trans, we'll just magic you into your ideal body. It's true. I said it back when I was playing Twilight Princess, but I do really want to see, I do want to see a mod of Twilight Princess that uses like, that has like Auden Link be regular, like it is in the main game, in the regular game. But then the main Link that you play with in most of the game is Linkle. Because the spirit that puts you into that outfit tells you that this is your awakened form and like your true form. And it's just such a trans statement that I really want to see it actually be trans. So it's like, hey, this is your awakened form, by the way. Also, you're a girl now. I will also accept transmask Link, but I feel like transfemme works better in Twilight Princess. I feel like Ocarina Link is transmask. Like, undoubtedly. Thank you for the glasses. There's a little detail that I learned about Ocarina of Time's Link design, which I think is really fascinating, and isn't really made apparent unless you really look for it, unless you're really thinking about it. And I found it out because of an interview with I don't remember who it was. It was one of the original developers of Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is trans, femme, and lesbian. I can see it. I can absolutely see it. But there's an interesting thing. I could also make an argument that Ocarina Link is non-binary. And I think this one actually has textual merit, which is fascinating. So there was an interview with some of the creators of Ocarina of Time that basically said they designed Link to be explicitly androgynous. She came out a bit after having a kid with Malon. That's cute. But they basically, the developers basically said that Link is in Ocarina is explicitly androgynous. In order to try and like make sure that everyone can see themselves can project themselves onto Link, right? Is the idea. But what's interesting is the outfit design. Because if you actually look at the Kakiri in Ocarina, let me show you this actually. Let me get some images up to show you this. Because the Kakiri in Ocarina have very consistent outfits. I can get like a visual aids for this. Okay, this is great. This is fantastic. This is a great image. Now, let me pull this image in. So, these are the Kakiri designs in Ocarina of Time. There's something really interesting about this. Here we have 3 masculine Kakiri and 2 feminine Kakiri. The masculine Kakiri all wear hats. Yep, they are the only Kakiri that wear hats. Feminine Kakiri wear a headband. However, the masculine Kakiri wear shorts with green boots, while the feminine Kakiri wear tunics with brown boots. Although the feminine Kakiri have no sleeves, while the masculine Kakiri have short sleeves. Now take a look at Link's design. Let me grab a picture of Link from Ocarina of Time. Let's take a look at Link's design, shall we? Much like the masculine Kakiri, Link wears a hat. Link also has short sleeves. Much like the feminine Kakiri, Link wears a tunic, and Link has brown boots. Link's outfit is a mixture of the masculine and feminine outfits. And that's an intentional design choice. Isn't that fascinating? Intersex Link real? Yeah! Legit! Ganondorf is actually... But, like, it's not just intersex. These are cultural points. Link is non-binary. Link is explicitly using the fashion statements that are neither masculine nor feminine, and also both. Link, our creator of time, Link, is non-binary, textually. From a certain perspective. Which is fascinating. Ganondorf's actually really disliked by anyone that put a gender form to him because they refuse to accept evil as a gender. Ganondorf nonetheless doesn't care. He knows that anyone that refuses to can be crushed like an empty soda can. It's true. Ganondorf really be embodying gender evil. What's your gender? Neutral evil. What? We should stop using male and female to describe people and start describing people by their gender should be a description of your on your alignment chart instead. Gandalf's lawful evil? Yeah, Gandalf's probably lawful evil. I can see that. Does this make Zelda lawful? I think Zelda's probably lawful good, and Link's probably chaotic good. Gender's chaotic good, and that central stuff here, heck yeah. By the way, just to make it totally clear, in case I hadn't already, I don't generally talk about politics very much here. I like to keep this a safe space. So like, I guess let's get the vibes up, right? However, trans rights, fuck AI, free Palestine. What's the phrase? Abolish ICE. That's the one. I couldn't think of the word abolish. There we go. Just to make it very clear what I stand for. And I did see the lyrics for the last bit of the Arcadian have dropped, and there is no heterosexual explanation for it. They capitalized the H in honey. There is no heterosexual explanation for that. Trans rights, trans lefts, trans middles. Trans wrongs. But yeah, there is no heterosexual explanation for the lyrics of Sinister. I don't have Sinister on my playlist, but if y'all have played the latest raid series in Final Fantasy XIV, that music gets very horny. Trans mediocrities? Heck yeah. Trans people are often very exceptional, but that should not be a prerequisite to trans people existing. Trans people need to be allowed to be mediocre. Trans middles are when I flip you off? Heck yeah. This is a place where we love trans people, we love queer people of all its different varieties. We support sex workers, we support artists, not safe for work or otherwise. I don't talk about politics a super huge amount, but I do want to make it clear that is where we stand here. Trans tops, trans bottoms, trans switches, trans versus heck, yeah. Tingle is unfortunately cis, but very neurodivergent, yes. Tingle has a borderline personality disorder. Is my take. You're an artist who's not safe for work. Heck yeah, that's what we like to hear. I do want to do some more like NSFW art, like not on Twitch. I don't tend to draw it very much, but I've been interested in branching out a little. Despite the job center's best efforts, yeah. So that's another thing. That's something worth talking about. I am disabled. I am a disabled streamer. And, my disabilities make it so that I am not able to hold a standard sort of 9 to 5 kind of job, right? I can't do that. My disabilities do not allow it. And I am fortunate that the job center agrees with me on that. But it makes my life quite difficult in a lot of ways. Trans ace with no interest in any sexual dynamics unless it's a mage hand. No, that's very, very, very fair. Trans aces are also supported. ADHD and dyspraxia. I have an autism diagnosis myself, and I am working towards ADHD. Traces, I like that. I always found the I find the hatred towards LGBT people very bizarre, generally. But I particularly do not understand the hatred that goes towards ace people. I love all my ace friends, but also like, what do you mean you're upset that someone is not doing a thing? What? You've been tested for both autism and ADHD, and both times said you don't have it. I'm sorry. It can be very hard to convince healthcare professionals to actually give you a proper diagnosis. I was tested for ADHD at one point, and they denied me the diagnosis because they basically said you already have autism, so it's probably just that, and left it at that. Which every other healthcare professional I have told about has gone, huh? Because that is not how that works. And a lot of like diagnostic criteria are very outdated as well. ADHD owners of the private company. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's even worse, because that costs money. I like the shape of this eye here. NHS paid because the waiting list for ADHD diagnosis is so long. At least like you didn't have to pay for it yourself. Silver lining, I guess. Need to email them about requesting a second opinion? Yeah. It's a lot of places in the UK, especially, consider ADHD to be like a children's thing. I'm waiting for the thing. Come on, VTube Studio, you can do it. Yay! Pets! Thank you for the pets. Hi, Abba. Yeah, it's often considered like a children's diagnosis, so it can be very difficult to like get someone to take you seriously. It's very frustrating. So I wasn't diagnosed. I had all the symptoms of ADHD now, but because the falling down fell out in your childhood, so yeah. That's an unfortunate reality. So your leg may be broken now, but it wasn't broken when you were a child, so we're not treating the severe bleeding and bone sticking out. Yup. Like, I understand that ADHD is supposed to be something that, like, is... Yeah, like, I've outright been told, like, if you had ADHD, it would have got better over time, not worse. Which is not how not how this works. It's not how any of this works. Healthcare is a mess in any country that we're dealing with, honestly. At least we get free healthcare with the NHS, but like it's still a mess. It's only shown up now because you got depression and anxiety under control. Yeah. For me, I had some stuff going on that like exacerbated the symptoms, so like. That's kind of what happened to me. Thank you, I will hydrate. I'm shrimping a little bit, so I will unshrimp. Thank you. I think that's the it's the half body. All Gorons are canonically genderless. True. It does frustrate me a little bit that they that they call people brother regardless. But yeah, thank you for this 3-stream streak, Joe. Welcome in. I stumbled over those words a lot actually, but welcome in. Nice to see you. I think this works. I think this looks nice. I want to tweak this top of this shirt a little bit. Should look a little better. Yeah. Thank you also for the 3-stream streak, Lyra. Always good to have you in here. Brother's like a normal compliment. Yeah, like I don't mind that idea. It frustrates me a little bit that it's brother specifically. There's a reasonable amount, because like the origin of that comes from Ocarina of Time, right? And there's a reasonable amount of stuff in Ocarina of Time that is just like mildly misogynistic, and it's a little bit frustrating there. You see, we have Zora's call everyone's sister to compensate. I agree. I think that's the correct answer. All right, let's do some. We'll do some. We got to do some color now. That's not how that works. I got to be other layers too. Here we go. Wait, I gotta draw lines in here so they don't. Here we go. I want that. So I need solid black for like the eyelashes. And then I got like color references up on my other screen. Darker. There we go. Oops. Hold on. What's that face for? Nothing. Yeah? Yay, pets! Thank you for the pets. Not gonna go with the way I say thank you for the pets. Oh, well, I gotta thank people for petting me. Should work. There we go. Oops. Yeah, soft brush now. That works really well, actually. I'm quite happy with how that looks. Okay, let's do some shading. Let's see. We usually use, I think it's color burn? Yeah. Just do that whole thing in shadow, honestly. Maybe not. Let's do it like that. There we go. Let's multiply, right? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. That kind of works. I don't know. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. That's a bit better. I will be drawing a second character on this in a bit. I will be drawing another figure, so we're not almost done or anything. We've still got a bit to go. Okay. Do do do. Thank you for the melon. I appreciate it. Haven't used that one in a while. That's very fair. Okay, I think we just got the hair to do now. I kept the face kind of quite simple on purpose. First of all. Rolling Girl, yeah! I love Rolling Girl. It's a fantastic song. You have the animations, people that game anime characters rolling down a hill. Yeah, yeah, yeah! It's a classic. There's a lot of frames that go into those animations. I was involved in something related to it a bit ago. And it was, there's a lot of frames in it. They're quite complicated animations. Moosin! Hi, Moosin. How you doing? You work with literal morons? Oh no. That somehow doesn't surprise me. Sometimes people not be doing the smartest things. I don't know if this shading is going to look pretty good, but I'll give it a try and see how it ends up. I have an idea for how to spice it up a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. I guess that works. I guess that does work. I can always turn the intensity down too. That's fairly easy to do. But I hope you're doing okay, Moosin. Three buildings away because he needs help with something in the VIP area. The key apparently wouldn't go into the lock. This can be an issue I can fix, but I just want to pick your I actually question your hiring practices. I mean, using the wrong key, I guess? Hammer the key, Thomas. We're going to look at it, slide the key, and no issue whatsoever. Of course. Put the key in upside down. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's not really the smartest decision. Never even thought to try it the other way. Yeah. Wild. That's honestly wild. Sometimes people be real heavily brain farting, honestly. And they get paid more than you. Of course they get paid more than you do. I am sorry you had to deal with that nonsense, Mason. That sounds ridiculous. Hi, Mason. Nice to see you. We're doing some art today. That looks alright. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Thank you again for the art. Well, thank you for being cool. I think what we do here now is actually add a layer. This one. Okay, cool. There we go. Very subtle little gradient on there. I think it's gonna be nice. There we go. I gotta do right outlines. I'm enjoying getting more like into art and things. I didn't do a lot of art for a lot of my life. I've always enjoyed it, but I never really kind of dove into it particularly heavily. And I've been enjoying getting kind of back into like the swing of like really trying to do it more and learn. It's been nice. It's been nice to do art with intention again. Let's see. Sure these are properly colored in, and then we've got to do these little spirals. Yeah. I definitely want to get better at art. I'm never really entirely sure how, but I want to try. And I am practicing. Yay, pets! Thank you for the birds, and thank you for the pets and hi bird. My brain is going... My brain is kind of messed up a lot of the time. Is that a good color? Yeah, it works. Nice blush effect, thank you. Big blush, that's correct, yes. Yeah, that works really well actually. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. You see? What do you mean you see? You see what? You're seeing. I see. Okay. I was wondering because my, noticing, if you will, I see. Perceiving. I just noticed that OES has like something selected that's partially off screen, but I think it's okay. I was worrying I'd accidentally dragged something off screen, but it looks fine. I think it's just a folder I keep all my foogies for various people. Wait, no, this is fine. I do want that to be a color. Okay. I just got shirts to do.
Do not let yourself become shrimp.
Thank you. I will unshrimp.
Make sure to drink your order.
And I will dink my order. Dinking my order. I think I completely missed the last set of ads that popped up. I think I just completely blanked on them and forgot to notice them. I'm kind of locked in at the moment, honestly. Which I'm okay with. Somebody dinks your order. You're about to say locked into. Yeah, I'm glad I have Oida to dink. Because if you weren't here at the start of stream, I have my water supply cut off water supply to my place this morning, and it was very stressful. because I had no warning for it. Which is technically illegal, and that's gonna be a whole other set of arguments. Yeah, it's been a whole mess. Yeah. I'm definitely getting a lot more confident with my art. Yeah, apparently they kind of just started digging up the water main outside my house, and then were like, wait, you didn't get notified? And the answer is no. No, I did not. And so I had to deal with that. It's why I was starting a little late, because I didn't want to start stream. I didn't have access to water and didn't know whether I'd be able to actually hydrate properly. Okay, I think this is figure 1 done. We got another thing to draw though. So let me just group all of that up. Cute art, thank you. Okay. So the idea here... I accidentally clicked reply in Twitch instead of... The idea is I'm gonna be drawing, You see the vision? You see the vision? You see the vision? You see the vision? I see the vision? Yes, good. You're perceiving the vision entirely? Yes, good. How... It's like that. Yes, okay. Yes, you're perceiving the vision. Okay, I have a little bit of reference art I want to check here. Because the thing I am not confident here is the face shape. So I'm thinking it's like... Have a Monado and it's showing you visions? Heck yeah. I think we actually just do like kind of from the back. Yeah, I think we need to like get the shape of the head down. I'm really feeling it! Hey, pets. Thank you for the pets. Me at the Aquarians touching the tank? Yes, understandable. There, I think this like visual works. You have Rolling Girl stuck in your head right now? Understandable. It's a good song. Okay, that works. These are at least 3 people I know are doing a sorry, break OBS. I press Control Z with OBS tapped in. Okay, well there goes some Kikiri, I guess. Have some Kikiri, I guess. Let's get rid of that. Hope that didn't break stream for too many people. Had some continuity problems. Well, I'm glad it's fine now, at least. There we go. Yes, I am drawing me. Don't worry. Okay, clean lines. Let's go. Wrong layer. Actually, delete these two layers. Because we know vector layer. There we go. Okay. Okay. Clean up the ends. There we go. Okay. Keep the wings last, I think. Hand hurty, no! That's unfortunate. Eh. Come on. I hope your hand feels better. Just trying to finish putting together reference sheets. I see. Okay, this is... This is just bad. This is not good. Okay. Drawing on the mouse isn't fun. Yeah. Like, I draw with a graphics tablet. It has its problems. I would like to have one with a screen on it, but it's they're expensive. Want to see the bits you put together so far? I would love to. I probably won't look until after stream because I know you're keeping it somewhat secret, so I can't really show it on stream, and I'm doing my own drawings. But I would happily see the bits you've done so far. So, yeah, this needs to kind of not be this angle. This needs to be rotated a bit. Pops in to appreciate partner art? Heck yeah. I'll come in. Fingers are hard. Fingers are like really awkward to draw. Yeah. Sorry, I just went silent there. I was kind of locked in for a moment. One of the reasons I never really got into art before until recently was that I just never had the focus for it. It just takes a lot of focus, and I never really had that. But it's been a lot easier to focus when I can sort of be... I could kind of focus on streaming it at the same time. You're appreciating all the art? Me too. I'm having a good time with it. This leg is completely wrong. It's the wrong angle. It's a very cute, thank you. That's better, but I need to, the foot now needs to be up here. Yeah, okay. That works. Yes, okay. Yeah, I'm locking really hard in. This is a really complicated angle, actually. Why did I pick this angle? Why is this so complicated? Yeah, okay, that works. There we go. Okay, I gotta draw ruffles now, which are always a bit of a pain. Low, my top is fairly low cut, so that covers that. As for my wings, you see, the top is actually really low at the back. And yes, I'm drawing me, in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, I gotta draw ruffles. Ruffles are always a bit awkward to draw. Let me think, how would I draw that? Like a... Yeah, okay. Trying to think how what shape this could be. This should be. I want a smaller brush at least. I think that works. Okay. Okay, I think I need to tweak some of these lines a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then it's just wings, I think. Actually, I think I'm missing... Yeah, the other ear should just be visible. We'll put the wings on a different layer, actually. That might be sensible. Because they are semi-transparent, so... That's slightly too high up, actually. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Hmm. Drawing wings is hard.
You deserve a glass of water.
Thank you. I will drink.
Shrimping on the job, are we?
And I will unshrimp. Thank you. Actually, I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste. Because I'd like the wing shape here, but I need to... Maybe we do it like this. I think that looks better actually, doing it like this. Yeah, I think that's a better pose. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And that's very dying right now. Oh, the hydrate and posture check things did come through. Yes, I appreciate you. If you gotta go because your internet is dying, then that is very understandable. And I hope it improves soon. Have fun doing cute art. I already am having fun doing cute art. Thank you. I hope your internet improves soon. Okay, I think that works. Let's hide those for now so we can just work on base colors. To hide the other one so it doesn't get in the way of my coloring. it's this bit. Let's expose skin. There we go. Okay. And then here, yes. Okay, cool. Okay. Nice and simple. Wait, I messed up. I missed a whole set of lines. That. Nice and easy fix, though. There we go. I guess we could do some... Yeah, let's do some shading. Okay. God dang it, I'm doing this all in the wrong layer. Eh. It's this layer. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I want to add this to that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now I can start actually doing, like, regular shading. And I realize this is also the wrong color. Okay. We're getting there. Let's do white. White tones. Does that work? Not quite. It's more like that. Yeah, I think that works better. I think what I want to do is something like this. Alright, this is definitely right. I'm pretty sure this is gonna look good. Yeah. Okay. We just kind of do this. Yeah, it works. That actually works really well. I like that a lot. I need to... I think I need to thin some of the lines out. Licks you head to toe? Wogue. Thin some of these lines because they're a little chonky. I need to clean them up afterwards too. Hi, Lady Koi. Welcome in. It's Wiggles time. It's time for Wingman. That's the one. This is such a banger. I love this song. Oh geez, we've got ads coming up. I probably will need to take a break when those hit. Could do with refreshing my oita. Have you heard the song? Can only remember the YouTube video where it's this song but you're dying in a club bathroom for an overdose. Oh geez! That's not where I expected that to go. I like the ones where it's like this song, but you're hearing it from a club, at, like through the club window from like at like 2 a.m. while you're trying to sleep. Those are fun. Okay, I think that works. I'm gonna have to just quickly brush up there. I need to do... We'll do the dress next, I think. Super easy to do, honestly. Important question, is she wearing panties? I'll leave that to your imagination. Alright, I'm gonna take a short break. I need to refresh my drink, and when we get back, we'll finish this up. I will see you all in a few minutes. That was the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button. I need to use this chatting menu. Alright, be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I forgot that I need to press the other button to make my to make it so the music doesn't stop. I have two BRB screens, one of which has the little music player and one doesn't. Dork! That's true. True and real. And thank you. Okay, we're gonna do the boots next. I'm definitely getting a lot faster at drawing. I love this song. Absolute fail girl anthem. We can concur with Dog, but she's not very big. That's true, I am very small. Actually gonna do this, I think. Pocket-sized dog, that's true. I will literally fit in your pocket. There we go. That's just hair left. And then wings. I love this song so much. Such a good song. My penis! I freaking love this song so much. That wasn't too bad, but I still have to do a little highlight there, I think. Gnawing on my ears? Whoa. Okay. I gotta do the wings too. Hold on, where did they go? Alright, these. Okay. I actually want this below that. Yeah, okay. That works. Okay. Now I think I just gotta do outlines. How do I do that again? I'm forgetting how to do it. How I do my own drawing. There we go. Okay. 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 And then we have skin tone. It's a little bit darker, I think. That's a bit better. Okay. Oops. Go. Go. Missed a bit there. I'll go back for that. Almost done with this one, so we'll go and clean up there. Wait in a second. Okay. Here we go. Hair, I guess. Okay. I'm really cautious around this here. There we go. There probably is an easier and faster way of doing this, but I kind of like this. It's kind of a meditative state, doing it like this. It's kind of nice. Its own way. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is a slightly awkward one. It's fine. There we go. We just have the brown and the black to do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Just the brown left. I think we're getting there actually. There's not a huge amount left to draw. There's a couple more details I want to add to the other drawing, and then we've got to do background and stuff. I don't want to get too involved in the background though. I'm definitely getting a lot faster at this. Just the whole process. I think that's neat, because I'm like finding shortcuts and just getting more confident with things. It's nice. I'm definitely improving. And I'm not even doing like particularly focused practice either. I rarely draw when I'm not streaming. But I draw and stream drawing when I'm motivated, and that's given me a lot of mileage for actually having, you know, like the kind of like the motivation to learn. Oops. I suppose. I'll clean up the wing lines in a minute. Another detail I want to add to the wings, actually, now I think about it. I think... You're motivated by this drawing? Let's go! I am glad. That's good. Okay, I think I do actually want... I need this. Be above there. You returned? Welcome back! I hope you're doing good. We still talking about Force Fem? We are not, but we can talk about Force Fem again. There's no limit to the amount of times we're allowed to talk about force spam. That's the secret. You're always allowed to talk about force spam. Navi is the greatest character ever pseudonymous by the heavens of every pantheon. I love Navi. Navi is a great character. I think she could stand to have been written better, but I love her a lot. And she's voiced by one of my favorite voice actors, which does help. Start with this one. Navi is voiced by Kaori Mizuhashi, who is wonderful. I love Kaori Mizuhashi. She has done some incredible roles, including Mami in Madoka Magica, funnily enough. And she voices Navi. Okay, I think that's good. Now I do want to add... Where's the bill for this? Here we go. CO effects. Sparkles. Mami was great. Yellow bias. She got a bit ahead of herself. Jail. Jail! Jail for that pun! Let me bring this back up. Whoop. So now we have to go back into this folder. We can group this one. Don't lose your head over it. Jail! This is like color burn. Jail! Should go to jail now? Okay, good. That works. And I want to add a little extra thing. Gio was boring, you broke out. Fair enough. Fair enough. Understandable. Welcome back. There we go. Should be a little better. Yeah. Go. There we are. I think this is really cute, actually. I really like this. Okay, I think we need, although I think we need to color burn just a little bit more. So I think we need to just shade this bit here. Just there like that. Yeah. Check out Discord memes section? Okay. Let's see. What's in the memes section? Yes! Ah! Oh, that's silly. Force firming Naruto. Excellent. Alright, I gotta finish this up. I think we need a background. Some description. I think I know how to... I think I'm going to use a strategy I used for a previous piece I did, which was... It's a kind of abstract background, like, actually, like, draw straight lines. Which it turns out is hard, because I can't draw straight lines. That works. Does that work? Yes. Okay, all I have to do is fill white. Refer other layers and hide these, and then there's a nice pale blue. I like pale blue. And then what we do is we grab, not that, we grab this. We just grab here. Make a copy of it up here. Make a copy of this up here. And then we delete the blue. Yeah. And then we can kind of, actually what I want to do here is I want to delete the blue from this too. Because we'll have that as like a frame, and then we'll fill... What if we do like a gradient? It's kind of like that, maybe? More like... Yeah. Like that, yes. And then we can add some extra color to it. See. If I add some sparkles. Yeah! I like this. I like this a lot. Let's change the canvas size so we can kind of resize to fit. Whoop. And then if I get my logo, let me get my logo. I need to actually make a proper stamp out of this, and I never do. I say that every time, and then I forget to. I need to... How do I do this? Tonal correction, that's the one. The Prolongo, yeah. Is it the screen usually? Yeah. Stick that up in the corner there. There we go. I think this is really good. I like this a lot. It's very cute. My goal for today was to draw a piece of birthday art. Let me just save that real quick. My goal for today was drawing a little bit of birthday art. And I believe I have achieved that goal. And also, it's made me feel a bit better. I was feeling not good this morning. It was a bad day. Sparrow! Thank you for the raid! How was your stream? What were you up to? Resident Evil 2? Oh, heck yeah. I hope you had a good time. For those of you coming in with the raid who may not know me, I, Prolo, am a Moon Fairy VTuber. I've not committed any crimes recently, at least any that anyone has noticed. And we've been drawing some art today. Been doing some art. I hope you had a good stream. Yeah, I hope you've had a really good stream. I've never played a Resident Evil game. To get to Prolo Smooches, OMG. I did commit a crime. What crime did I commit? What crime did I commit? Is that you to jail with no trial? No, you just went to Fae jail. It doesn't work like normal jail. Just gotta make sure you have everything. Oh, you moved to Linux. Good job. I've been tempted to make the leap, but oh, so much stuff. Yeah, I hope you had a good time. If you got to do some post-stream self-care and you know, get yourself some a nap, a snack, whatever you need, self-care is not optional. You're more than welcome to hang out, and that goes for everyone with a raid. Thank you so much for sending people over. I might add some text onto this. Let's get some circular text. Do I need like a... Oh, there we go. There we go. Let me find a good font. Of course you went to Fae jail. You're in the Feywilds. To avoid the evil duck. Oh, don't worry about the evil duck. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's not a problem. Let me see what's a good font. Some things you have to lose out on, and you can find alternatives and such. You had a really nice stream, but you gotta lurk while you do stream. No worries. We're actually just kind of wrapping up with the art for today. Let's see. Enjoys deal or no deal for the Wii. only villains do that. Whoop. Maybe a little too big. I think that's nice. We'll add some effects and stuff onto that in a second. Why did that just do that? Okay, well. Oh, how do I add effects again? I don't remember. It's like effects layers or something. I don't remember. Oh, here we go. It's like layer, new correction layer, no, is there an effect layer? I don't know how to use this program. Got an idea. I think we just duplicate it, honestly. Duplicate the layer, and then we do... Nice. Like that. I think we don't rasterize. What's the rasterize button? How do I rasterize this? I don't remember how this works. There we go. Rasterize the layer. Cancel that because that's not the kind of layer I want. Oh god dang it! How do I rasterize a layer? There's got to be a way. Oh, there it is. The rasterize button. That'll do it. And Gaussian blur. There we go. I think what we do here actually then is, I think I got a soft eraser and we just kind of... Let's rasterize this layer too. Rasterize. Maybe we actually, no, instead of that, we add a layer like this. Yeah, here we go, here we go. Let's see. Just kind of winging it with this a little bit. There we go. I think that works. Wing it. Pun intended. There are wings on the art, it's true. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I think that's nice. I like this a lot, actually. I guess it's come out really well. Yeah. I think I'm gonna pop back to our chatting screen, because I think I'm done with the art for now. For today. Let me just, real quick. Ugh, my computer's struggling. My computer's really struggling. Oh, my tracking broke. Hello? We going? We good? It's catching up. Oh my gods. Well, yeah. I know we just had a raid a little bit ago, but it's really hot here. I've had a hell of a day, and this has made things a lot better. I'm glad I stuck to it and decided to stream today. I think we will be wrapping up shortly, though. Mainly because I'm actually really tired. It was a hell of a morning this morning with my water going out, getting like medication issues, all sorts of nonsense happening. It's really, really tiring, really exhausting. I am pretty snoozy. Thanks, Sumo. But yeah. Thank you all so much for hanging out and all the raids and things and everything. This has been a great stream. I've had a great day. Well, I had a terrible morning. I had a terrible start to my day, but it's been great since. For the past few hours of messing around in stream. Maybe a slightly shorter stream than normal, but, you know. Yeah. For those of you who are not following my socials, here they are. For those of you who are not in the Discord, here it is. I'm going to find someone to raid. I will probably be streaming tomorrow. Likely playing some Final Fantasy XIV. Because I want to give some people the option to get the opportunity to get themselves a gay horse. And I haven't streamed FF14 in a while. And I want to get back to it a little bit. I will not be streaming on Sunday. My schedule does say I have a stream scheduled on Sunday. That is no longer true. Is that the 14th one? It is. It is no longer true that I am streaming on Sunday because I was supposed to be doing a collab with Lily, and unfortunately she cannot make it anymore, so we've had to reschedule. So it's not going to be this week, unfortunately. But it will happen. It will happen eventually, just not this week. Yeah, I hate that one. I have 5,000 hours on it. That's a mood. I have somewhat like 7,000 hours on that game. It's ridiculous. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Let's find us a raid target, and I'm gonna go get myself a snack and maybe a nap. I appreciate you all. Who is streaming right now? Let's see. And thanks for hanging out. Who's going right now? There's a few people. You know what? Let's go raiding Dasper. She was in here earlier. I haven't raided Dasper in a while. It looks like she's playing Monster Hunter. So, let's go raid Dasper. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Here is a raid message for you. I don't know. What should our raid message be? I'll just do art raid. Let's just do art raid. If you are not subbed, you can use the top one. If you are subbed, you can use the bottom one, or use whatever emotes you like. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. I will see you all, tomorrow, hopefully. Tomorrow. Yeah. My brain is falling apart. I will see you tomorrow, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love you all, and I will see you all later. I'm gonna go lie down, probably, or something like that. I will see you later. Computer, please.